So that big list that we were just talking about has started to tip us into something that we call the four realms. And so when I was talking about, the medication will stem symptoms but doesn't necessarily deal with the root cause. As kinesiologists, our job is to get into the root cause, and there can be a multitude of root causes. It's not always just one specific thing. It can be a combination, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. But we look at issues that are happening within the four realms. Now, the realms, it's a word from the kinesiology world, but basically it's the ways that human beings are made up. And so we are made up of the biochemical, so literally the biochemistry of our body and what we put into it, the electrical, because our body works by electricity, our brain works by electricity, the emotional aspect of us, and the structural aspect of us. So that would be the four realms. And so this is where therapies also sit. So biochemistry, by the biochemical realm, will be very much the realm of nutrition. Electrical could be your acupuncture, your Reiki. I'm only giving a couple of examples here. Emotional, your counseling and your coaching. And structural would be things like massage, chiropractic, osteopathy, PT, etc. And with kinesiology and with our functional wellness, we really are looking at all of it. So what causes the issues in the realms? Well, this one's a really chunky one at the biochemical, because we are currently in a soup of pollution for the human body. So at the top, because this is the subject of tonight, but it is always at the top of this one, is food intolerances. We are eating foods on a daily, sometimes multiple times in a day. In general, not all of us, but most of us are eating foods that we are intolerant to. That's then combined with the fact that most people have got a poor diet. And even that phrase is quite contentious, because there are so many health myths that people actually think they're doing the best thing for themselves when they're not. And that's a really huge issue. And supporting people to be able to see past the health myths and actually come back to really common logical sense with the research aspect added to it is I actually think where our job is most needed right now. There's chemical toxicity coming at us from all angles, in skincare, in cleaning products, in pesticides, and in pollution. We have got depleted nutrition. There is a massive lack of minerals such as magnesium in our soil because of the pesticides. The worms can't get to the food and then poo around it, which is how we get our nutrition. So that our food is nutritionally devoid. Many people are dehydrated, and even those who are drinking a lot of water, if it's not filtered water or such, the quality of our water is so poor. It was illuminating. I was in Slovenia in February, and they don't treat their water with chemicals. It all comes from the Alps, and their water was just astonishing. And it really brings to mind to me how bad our water quality is. It's full of medications, it's full of all sorts of horrendousness and chemicals. Medications, contraception, and hormone replacement. So many people are stuffed full of all of these, and a lot of that is causing as many problems as it's sorting. Alcohol and addictions obviously causes a big biochemical imbalance. Reduced sunlight and vitamin D. So not only do we have reduced sunlight, then we have been well trained that as soon as that sun's out to slip, slap, slop and get that sun cream on, but that is causing a huge amount of vitamin D deficiency. And then lastly, but very much not least, radiation. I could wax lyrical about the issues that we are having on this planet with radiation. And, we just keep changing what the level is of safe radiation, because we have no choice. We just keep going, well, yeah, that's safe. And it's not at all. Just the radiation from, I go on about Chernobyl, but like that didn't go anywhere. That radiation didn't go anywhere. We've had other nuclear leaks since then, so Fukushima. They don't go anywhere. We're a hermetically sealed ball. It doesn't go anywhere. So our poor human body is not coping with the amount of biochemical stress that is being put on it. Then we come on to the electrical. So dehydration is also an electrical one, because it's how the electricity flows through our body is through good hydration. EMF radiation and devices exposure. I mean, no one's very far away from their devices, are they, these days? And it's there all the time. And again, huge pressure being put on the human body. And then light toxicity, and some really interesting research coming out now around light toxicity and what that actually means for us as animals who are supposed to have circadian rhythms. And then, I mean, the emotional, this is just a small list because we couldn't cover all of the topics, but basically anxiety, also one of the most medicated conditions in the UK, depression, ditto, overwhelm is everywhere. People having, relationship pressure, social pressure, inequality, how much of that is being exposed now and is there, that can add so much stress to the human body. Social media pressure, low self-esteem is at an all-time high, fueled by social media, magazines, etc., and consumerism is causing that too. It's, everything is designed to make us think that we're not good enough without this thing. So financial and work pressure, obviously. The pandemic does feature, because I think the last 2.5 years have been very stressful for everybody in one way or another, and then addictions as well. And then we go on to structural. So this is where poor posture puts a huge amount of pressure on the body, lack of exercise and movement, or sedentary lifestyles, or over-exercising, or doing the wrong type of exercise, or the right type of exercise at the wrong time of day. So exercise can basically be a huge stressor. So we are in a situation where basically we are running out of bandwidth. And so what I mean by that is, I kind of like the word stress, but everything that you've just seen in those bees it's like a stress soup. We are in a stress soup. And our bodies have run out of bandwidth. That's absolutely what we're seeing. And so I love this concept of bandwidth, because we get that really clearly, don't we, from Wi-Fi. But if I've got, okay, well, just to be alive today, there's stuff I can't do anything about. I can't do anything about the fact that Chernobyl exploded and caused a load of bother, and now I've got radiation floating around the earth that we know the dust is around. It's completely, within us, it's everywhere. If you've seen Dark Waters, all the issues with PTFE, like, these are things I can't change, nor can I change them for my clients. So there is already part of my bandwidth taken up with that. Then there's bandwidth taken up with, family pressure. Then there's bandwidth taken up with, other things I can't change. Pesticides, even if we eat just pure organic food, we're going to be exposed to pesticides because we're a small little island and we spray a lot of our crops with them. So if my bandwidth is like this, and I've already used up loads of it, I've now only got a tiny bit, and then, something happens, the car breaks down. I just don't have the resilience to be able to handle everything that's being thrown at me and anything else. And it's actually this lack of resilience that is causing the body to go into basically stress overload, which is essentially where inflammatory conditions come from. And every single one of those conditions that we were talking about at the beginning is an inflammatory condition. Interesting.